up, YouTube? You know what time it is. It's your boys, Detroit Love, PDubs Arcade Loft, MichaelB the Game Genie, and Restalgia with another episode of the Super GameRoom Dudes. Let's get it started.
Man, I got to tell you, the Friday fun continues. That's right, guys. Hopefully you were just watching Glenn's Retro Show, and we're kicking it old school. Thanks so much for joining us. If you're coming over from that broadcast, we greatly appreciate it. And guess what? It's Friday. Welcome to the Funhouse. Welcome to another episode of the Super GameRoom Dudes, your favorite arcade and gaming podcast show on YouTube. I'm your host, PDubs. With me, as always, Detroit Love, Restalgia, MichaelB the Game Genie. Gentlemen, how are you? It is good to be back.
I'm feeling uncomfortable. Thank you. Now I'm feeling better.
Yep. My apologies, guys. I had to miss last week's episode. Sometimes I think us grown-ups, we get a little enamored with our hobbies that we kind of forget to take care of what's most important, and that would be the jobs that pay the bills, right, MichaelB? So unfortunately, I've been really light on YouTube content the last week and a half because I've been catching up on, what matters most, right? Your day job and stuff. And, Mike, Restalgia, Carl, have you guys ever just let this hobby kind of get in the way of what's most important? And you're like, holy cow, wait a minute. I got to pull back. I got to catch up on my house, my chores. I got to catch up on my job. You know what I mean? Because that's what I've been going through. And luckily, I'm all caught up. But what about you guys, man? Do you guys ever go through what I went through over the last week and a half, 2 weeks?
Literally never. I'm so consistent with making YouTube videos that, it's never been a problem for me.
By not making videos.
Consistency is consistency, man. You call it whatever you want.
And Mike, you work from home. You're like the CEO of this charity, right? Like, you got stuff to do, man.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, YouTube is secondary to that. I have run into a similar situation where I did focus too much on my YouTube. Like, I got really in my head about making videos. This is going back when Scarlett was first born, and I would make 6 and 7 videos at a time that were ahead, and then schedule them to upload. And what I was doing was I was spending so much time writing scripts and making videos that it wasn't that I was letting work get by, but I just wasn't spending enough time with my wife and newborn baby. So I had to really reflect on what I was doing. And that ended up with a little bit of a break from YouTube. I'm weird that way. You can't let the lion halfway out of the cage. You know what I mean? So sometimes I get all in.
Mike, I have no idea what you mean. Can you explain what that means?
Well, I think the consensus is, guys, as much as we love our hobbies, we're passionate about our hobbies. You're passionate about cars. You're passionate about Legos, toys, arcades, video games. Don't forget your family comes first. Your job probably second, because that's what pays for all these wonderful, glorious things that we have in our houses. And then try and find balance with your hobbies. But yeah. Now, let's get the show started proper. But before we do, let's say hi to everybody who's here in the live chat. We got Conti Dinda, the mystery encoder. For the love of God, man, release more hacks. We're waiting, bro. We got a couple of pinball hacks and nothing. What are you doing, man? Get the hacks out.
He's a busy man. You leave that mystery encoder alone.
Yeah, he's spending time with his family and all that crazy stuff and working his day job.
The mystery encoder is he doesn't count towards all of us who have responsibilities. He's got one job. You got one responsibility in life, and that's to hack these arcade machines. Glenn's Retro Show is here. Al is here. Wade is here. Endless One Up. Super J-Man. Adam Montgomery. Weapon X. We all love Goofyfoot. Hashtag free Goofyfoot was a success. It goes to show you guys that we have the power to make changes happen. Goofyfoot was freed from YouTube blocking obscurity, courtesy of MichaelB the Game Genie. Really nice to see that was a success. Curtis is here as well. He says, greetings, programs. There you go. Also, I saw when the countdown clock was rolling, Frank left a comment. People are always like, let's go. The show's starting. Let's do it. And Frank goes, Large Marge sent me. And who doesn't love the Pee Wee Herman movie? MichaelB, you know what I'm talking about, right? With Large Marge.
The Truck Adventure?
Yeah, the truck driver that Pee Wee hitches a ride with, but
yeah.
she's really a ghost, you know. And tell him Large Marge such a. That was great. That made me giggle, Frank. Thanks so much for that. All right, guys, we got a lot we want to talk about. We got stuff going on in the world of AtGames, Arcade1Up, iArcade, E3, New Wave Toys, Pinball FX, Microtransactions, City, Zen. What the hell you doing? Oh man, we got a lot to talk about, guys. So let's kick it off here real quick. Let's dive and see if AtGames has given us the ultimate updates. So, Mike, AtGames, something pretty cool happened, right?
Yeah, they were on The Price is Right.
Tell me about it, man. Tell me about it.
Well, I didn't see all of it. I don't watch The Price is Right, but I saw the highlights afterwards and just thought it was really awesome to see AtGames with the Legends Ultimate and the Legends Pinball being displayed as the opening showcase.
They won't let me share it, but go ahead.
As the opening showcase item, I read in the description for season 50, episode 103. It was the opening item, the first bid of the day. So really cool for AtGames, really cool for all the people who made that happen, Stephen Restalgia. So, really good job to the AtGames team, and it was cool seeing it there. That's a big deal.
Yeah. Absolutely beautiful to look at. I mean, the curves and the angles, and the pinball machine looks good too. But yeah, it was really nice to see AtGames has finally made it to The Price is Right.
PDubs, that was such a long windup.
Yeah, take a
that
look
was
there.
Such a long windup. Good for you, though.
Hey, Michael B, I get a question. What did someone have to guess the price, or what was the gist of that presentation?
Well, it's the opening bid. I haven't watched Price is Right in a very long time. So Bob Barker was still the host last time I watched. And basically the opening bid is they throw an item out there, and then people have to guess the nearest one to find out who goes first, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
First person who gets to spin the wheel or
whoever
something
gets
like
closest
that.
without going over. Okay.
Yeah, what product are you looking at, PDubs, right now?
Well,
just out of curiosity.
You know what? Despite what people say, I think the legs on the AtGames Legends pinball are rather nice, don't you think? I mean, the legs on the pinball machine are quite.
Does anybody know if she has an OnlyFans?
Oh man, it was good to see this, right? Because we've seen Arcade1Ups on The Prices, right? So it was nice to see that.
I'm pretty sure iArcade has been on Prices Right as well.
And iArcade has been on Prices Right? So it was nice to see. So, of course, if you guys don't know what Prices Right is, they bring out some items, and in order for you to get into the game, you have to bid on the items and say, this is how much we think these items are worth, right? And now these items combined are $1,300, if I recall, $1,300 combined retail, and the winner was this girl right here. She bid $876, and she was the highest bid. There was one person who bid $1,400, and so they didn't get to go play the next game on The Price is Right. But good old Kelsey, she guessed right, or closest. She was off.
Is that Kelsey or Kelly?
Kelsey. I don't know. I don't care. Either way, she guessed right, and she got to play the mini games and all that stuff. Now the episode aired on March 30th, which was just a couple of days ago. If you guys just go to cbs.com, they actually have all the Prices Right reruns. You can go ahead and just you can watch the whole video if you want. I can't play the video. They apparently have it copyright blocked, so I can't share the video. What a bunch of jerks. There's no embedding.
I'm guessing that Price is Right is a huge streaming problem on YouTube. Like, everybody's streaming it all the time. You gotta put the stop on there.
They had to hit the brakes on The Price is Right, man. So yeah. Oh man, Nooner. Did you guys see Nooner? I bet she can build this shit out of a Tempest can. Oh man, that's too funny. All right, that's too funny. All right, so pretty cool. I mean, we're kind of joking about it because it's always fun seeing a beautiful woman showing off pinball machines, but still, this is a big accomplishment for AtGames getting that national exposure. You have to be honest. Absolutely. It's Arcade1Up has been there, iArcade's been there. It's great exposure, and it was cool to see because we actually collect and play with this stuff. So that was pretty cool. Mike, what else is going on with AtGames? Now, I know you did a video or a stream or something talking about the game room guys. What is it we found out on the Game Room guys AtGames pinball listing. What did we find out that was very interesting that not many people have been talking about?
So actually, what I did was I did a stream talking about moving from the home arcade to the commercial market and
Right.
who is well prepared and stuff like that. I didn't really get into the specifics of the sales for the commercial piece, but Cool Toy actually did a post up later, and I caught up on it through his post. But he talked about how it's going to be sold through Game Room guys. A lot of people got caught up on that price point to $2,500. I think
Right.
they're forgetting that, Jesus Christ, this is not for us. This is for commercial buildings. And there's also massive warranty included with that. And there is a markup on commercial products, right?
Commercial licensing is
Yeah.
a lot more expensive than consumer licensing.
So
kind of, but yes, in this case, yes.
What the big one is that people need to look at, because this will apply to the home market as well, is the 12 future pinball volumes within the next 3 years. So everybody's been asking AtGames, when's the next pinball volume? When are we getting new pinball games for the AtGames Legends Ultimate? And right now you can see that there are 12 future pinball volumes in the works that we should have within the next 3 years.
Yeah, that was honestly my biggest takeaway from this whole thing, right? Is that AtGames has been super quiet, super secret, won't tell anyone what they're working on, but apparently we are going to be getting more pinball. We did mention we felt like, hey, like when I did my AtGames year in review, I said because their pinball packs are so successful, they should keep making more pinball packs, right? And we've been waiting, and it does look like this is going to happen, guys. We are going to get more packs. If these packs have let's just say 4 games in them each, you're talking 48 games. If it's 3 games, you're talking 36 games. Still a lot of pinball, man. Still a lot of pinball coming. So very exciting to see this bit of news right here. So my question,
before we move on from that, now, is this for those arcades that you pay one fee to get in and then you can just play all the games you want for the time that you're there? I mean, who's the market for this?
So it might be for a free play arcade. We went into the jigs and reels of it. It could be for a lot of places. It could be for maybe a venue that doesn't historically offer a lot of arcade type products. This is obviously going to be on the lower end of the purchase price, so the risk assessment. So somebody can pick this up for $2,500 compared to a new pinball table, which is going to be $15,000 to pick up for the commercial pinball table to bring in their establishment. So it's a low risk venture for maybe not necessarily, your classic arcades that are going to have classic old tables, but anything from swimming pools to pool halls to kids rec centers and up until pizza parlors, up into modern arcades as well. It's a low risk entry into the pinball world. I think it's got a lot of upside, and at first I was like, what is this? But the more and more I think about this, I think this is going to be a really good move for AtGames, and I think there's a lot of value here.
Okay, because I kind of get it. Today I just picked up some Cajun chicken, and this particular place called Cajun Joe's, they actually have a Street Fighter cabinet there, just one of the regular Gen 1 cabinets. But because the chicken takes a while to cook, it gives the customers something to play while they're there. They don't charge or don't expect any money for it, but it gives their customers who's waiting for a good period of time something to do in that lobby. And so I think that's probably that type of application would be great for this type of thing as well.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Carl. I agree with you. So what's interesting is obviously we don't want to start speculating because literally they've teased nor have they released any information about what these packs are going to be. Are they going to be more Taito games done by Magic Pixel? Are they going? Remember, they also have a relationship with Farsight Studios. Is Farsight Studios going to do something, which I highly doubt because they haven't made a pinball game in a while, but you never know. Crap happens, right? But also, are they going to be bringing in new IP? Well, the only thing we do know is that these games will continue to be original games. That's the only bit of information I could get out of AtGames was, are you going to be bringing over like tables that already exist and kind of digitizing them? Because I sent them a message earlier in the week and they said, no, it's going to continue to be original brand new tables, just like the Taito games were as well. So we have to figure out like, what's it going to be? Are they going to bring in new IP and make brand new tables, etc., and all that stuff? Mike, do you want them to have more Taito games? Or did you like the Taito games?
I did, but I mean, how do I say this the right way? The Taito games are awesome. I think it's cool that they're bringing classic brands and arcade brands and making new content for them. But these tables feel a lot like they're the dollar store version of pinball tables. Like I would like to see, if they're going to do more, put a little bit more money into the R&D and make them just a little bit more advanced. I think that they were really good, and it's great they have new pinball products, but I think it was I think they were a little cheap. I'm just going to be honest. They're good, definitely worth the value you pay for them, but I mean, they're not as high end as what I would like to see them do.
The important thing to remember is with digital pinball, virtual pinball, you're not limited by physics really. Like, you can do some pretty interesting stuff, and then on top of that, you've got the ability to do like massive animations, like really take this to the next level. And I think one of the biggest flaws with the original tables they've released so far is that they're very one or two dimensional, in the sense that the rule sets are very simple, and it's very repetitive. So you're just doing the same things over and over and over again, trying to get a high score. Whereas an actual mechanical machine is going to have layers, right? You're going to complete this task, which will unlock task 2, and then you go to that and you do that and you unlock the next one. And you have all these layers that you're slowly peeling back, and it becomes a much more intimate experience. So I think what probably would be the best is if they, just like you said, invested more in the actual development of those and really gave us games that have character, something that you want to invest hours into playing and learning all the nuances and progressing through all the different stages. I think that's what would really set them apart.
And a very key piece is, I mean, like, some of the best tables, best brands that you had were Space Invaders, Operation Wolf, and Bubble Bobble. And that's survival pinball mode. Maybe it's for everybody, but like, I hate playing that. It broke my heart that that's what those games were. I would love to see just traditional, really well done pinball for those games, not some kind of survival video game BS.
I disagree. Yeah. I like them.
Yeah, it's. I can get what Restalgia saying. Some of those tables are just very repetitive, and it's like, it's hard for the ball, even for you to even lose the ball. You know what I mean? And then for MichaelB saying, adding those different elements where the things are walking through, it's got to be a sweet space between those two worlds, in my opinion.
No, don't get me wrong, and I apologize. I love like the animations. I love the more deluxe nature of those tables. Just don't like the survival style. Like, if those elements were in there and it was traditional,
like, hey, I had 2 more balls left. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of get like, hey, we're gonna give you 2 or 3 like EM style tables in a game pack, and then 1 specialty table. But the fact that all the specialty tables were, like a campaign mode table, where, Magic Pixel just used the same stuff they did when they made their zombie campaign table, right? Turn around and, put those other games together, but for Taito, it just, I wish they had done 1 campaign table, but then 2 other tables that were more like a deluxe version, like the anchor of the pack.
Well, technically, they only did 1 campaign table. I mean, after they made Space Invaders, they just copy and pasted Bubble Bobble and Operation Wolf onto that. So
that's what I'm saying. Is it was like a repetitive, same thing. I think if they changed it up a bit more and spent the money on the development, I think people would have been a lot more happy with the packs. Because by the time Pack 2 came out, and people saw that it was the same style of games as Pack 1, that's when people started losing interest. You know what I mean? Like, people started going, oh geez, they're just repeating the same thing, and I bet Pack 3 is the same thing, and Pack 3 was the same thing. You know what I mean? Like I really think they missed the mark there. They should have really switched up the game styles across all 3 packs. They should have spent the money, and that way it would have happened.
I actually disagree with the idea of having, like, in a game pack of 4 games, having 3 of them be lower end and 1 of them being premium. I think that completely misses the mark. I think every single one of them, they're original. They need to be premium tables.
Agreed.
That's my perspective. If people are going to pay, I would pay $40-$50 for 4 tables if they were all premium tables and they were all like really well designed. And
yeah, I will throw down on that. I mean, we're going to be talking about Zen Pinball later, and people are going to be complaining about paying $4 for a table. But I mean, those tables are so good. There's so many things happening. They look so nice. And then we talk about these pinball packs from AtGames and how they work compared to that. I mean, what's your return on investment? The value you're getting comparing both products.
You're also you're comparing 2 different things though. Zen has the ability to sell on Steam. They're selling it on different consoles. They have so much wider reach and so much more revenue sources, so they can sell for $4 per table because they have so many different revenue sources that they still cover their costs. AtGames doesn't have any other means to sell their pinball tables other than their machines, which is limited by their user base. So you're going to pay more per table on that machine regardless. There's just no way around it.
We haven't got to Arcade1Up yet. We kicked off the show talking about AtGames. We'll be talking about Arcade1Up. We're going to talk about Zen Studios Pinball FX. We're going to talk about New Wave Toys. We're going to talk about E3 cancellation. We got a lot to get through, guys. Let's continue on. But before we do, Scarpad gave us a $5 super chat. He paid $99 for 37 tables, and he bought Indie. It's a $2.60. It's $2.67 a table. I figure I get a lot of enjoyment from FX. It's less than 2 console games. Appreciate that feedback, sir. Yeah, the $15 for Indiana Jones was tough, and I paid for it twice because I bought it on my Switch and I bought it on my Steam FX account. So I'm $30 into Indiana Jones already.
He's talking about the new Pinball FX because you're going to be $45 down when you buy it again.
Yeah, I know. That's where I was going, Mike, is, I might have to buy it again. I still haven't downloaded or tried the new Pinball FX, but I do have an opinion based upon some of the news and information that people have been sharing out there. Plus, Mike actually got access to it, got early access to it, and we're going to get Mike's thoughts on all that kinds of stuff. So this is actually a great way to kind of segue.
Oh, well, 1 second first, before we go off the commercial pinball. The other thing that was really cool when I got a picture of this, and my God, is someone opening a can of food for a cat or something in the background? So the other thing I wanted to talk about is I got that picture from AtGames of what the table is going to look like, and we found out some key information. It's going to come with the what is it called? The BitPixel HV already installed. It's got a new artwork style, and I wanted to get some feedback on what you thought of the artwork. This is one of the other things where I brought up in the commercial sense that this is going to be an interesting topic because they have art on it that is, again, much like what they did with the Legends Pinball. It's all over the place. A couple back boxes from some of the Gottlieb games. They're going for a different feature here because they've got some Zachariah and then some more of the new Taito back boxes and art on the table. Do you think that will appeal to people going into a pizza parlor, or do they want to see more of a one-game traditional pinball table art? What's going to sell more?
It doesn't matter what I think, Mike. It matters what the viewers think.
That's a good point.
Share your screen. Show me that picture. And let's take a look, guys. Apparently, AtGames did send Mike a photo of the new artwork that's going to be on the commercial version of their pinball machine. We want to get your guys' opinion and feedback on that picture here in just a second. Then we're going to pivot over.
Don't put it up yet.
And talk about Pinball FX.
I got to find out where it is. Don't put me up yet. You guys keep it going.
Yes. And speaking of Pinball FX, while we're waiting for Mike, a lot of people are asking, can you play Pinball FX on the AtGames Legends Pinball? As of today, probably not a good idea to try because they haven't enabled the full-on cabinet mode yet for Pinball FX, but it's going to come in the future, so just have to be patient, right, for that to happen. So
you're good to go. Put it up.
Oh, you ready? Okay, here we go. So what do we got here, Mike? You want to zoom in for everybody? What did they change? All right, so I see we got some Taito artwork on here instead of what is that? Yeah, we got Zachariah there, right?
But I think this is Universe Deluxe.
Yeah.
You've got Bubble Bobble. This here is, what was that one? Is that Bone Buster?
Bone Buster.
Yeah, and then on the front you've got Operation Wolf. I can't really tell what that is.
We'll go down. Can you go down any lower?
No, this is the end of the picture.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. That's it.
I don't.
I have a feeling the other side will be different.
Yeah.
I don't think it looks good. It's weird. you got Zachariah, then you have Taito, then you have Gottlieb, like just kind of mixed together in these little triangles. Like honestly, I'm not digging this as much as the original artwork that's on that one because on the one back here, like on the original pinball machine, at least it was all like the same publisher style of games. Like the games are all kind of familiar, you know what I mean? Whereas this is like it's kind of like everything is way too different. You know what I mean? Like right here, Robert, it's got no flow. That's what I'm saying. It's got no flow. Like this one, although it's a multicade artwork and some people hate multicade artwork, this one actually flows nicely compared to the new one, because the new one to me just looks like it's just way too many different things mashed together. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, and there's something to be said too for the original. The original actually took real arcade art. Now, it might not have been pieces of the sides of the cabinet, but was the back boxes from those real cabinets. And, you know, you got something from that, like a real arcade feeling. But this, I mean, that Bubble Bobble stuff, I don't even know where that's from. Universe Deluxe is from their speculated back box, or I don't know. You know what I mean?
You know what would look good is imagine you walk into some place that has arcade games you can play. Like obviously they want to get these in commercial businesses, right? If I'm looking at a row of arcade pinball machines and I see one that is fully Bubble Bobble artwork, or you know what I mean, or fully like Space Invaders, right? Yeah. Like their Space Invaders game artwork, it's going to make me want to walk over and play it, right? Yeah. When I see this thing, I'm probably going to be like, imagine I don't know anything about AtGames. I'm going to look at this thing and I'm going to be like, what is this? You know, what is that thing over there in the corner? I'm going to go play Jurassic Park. At least I know what that is because it looks like Jurassic Park, right? Like, in all honesty, if I was AtGames, just make single themed color cabinets for the commercial businesses at the very least, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, one thing I will say is this still will look better than if it was just black and then had some of the arts. Like, can you imagine if this had the Legends Ultimate artwork?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, good stuff. All right, Mike, you let's get that off our screen, and let's get that out of there as well. You can cancel sharing so I can pull this up and don't pull up the wrong thing. All right, guys, let's talk about the new Pinball FX. Early access just went live. MichaelB, you got to do a live stream playing some games. What were your thoughts about all this? Tell me about Pinball FX.
So far, I really like the way it plays. I really like the way it looks. I don't know what the right word to say is. I was honored because I checked my email and there was just a random email there saying, hey, code request. And I was like, I didn't request a code. But they reached out to me and they sent me some tickets. At first, they were going to send me a code for, I think it's called the Pinball Pass in Indiana Jones. But instead, they ended up sending me some tickets. So I got to go in, buy some of the games with the tickets they sent me, and I got to check them out last night. So I got to see how good it looks, and oh my god, it's beautiful, like absolutely beautiful. The way the tables look is just unreal, especially compared to my 720p Arcade1Up cabinet. That's so but I mean, like, gorgeous, and the new physics are really good. The games play really well. I'm in love with it, and I can't wait till it gets a little further along. We get cabinet modes, so I can hook it up to my ALP. I'm really into the way it looks, the way it plays. The ticket mode, that's going to be the hard one for all of us to talk about, I think. I don't really understand that. They've changed their business model on how they sell tables, and that's going to be the one that I think most people are get their back up against.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing that I think a lot of gamers are getting more and more angry about as time goes on is all the microtransactions, right? So
yeah,
what now, there's another pinball studio that adopted microtransactions, and they've been in a rut ever since. I mean, they stopped making pinball games. That's 90% of, the issue with their business right now. That would be Farsight Studios. But B, all these games that they've been putting out on the Switch, like they have like a little arcade game, like a bowling game. You know what I mean? Like all the games, they're literally just littered with microtransactions. You can't do anything without spending even more money to play these games. And Farsight Studios, they get so much negative press all the time whenever they release a new game because of all the microtransactions, right? Gamers hate these microtransactions. And it looks like this Pinball FX is going to adopt and bring in a lot of microtransactions. And I think we as consumers have a right to say, we don't like that. You know what I mean? I don't want microtransactions. I just want to pay you, 5, 10, whatever it is, 15, $20 to buy some games. And I just want to play the games. I don't want to do any microtransactions, right? So, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to pay for the games and have the games.
I think you're wrong. I think that there's nothing better than going into a game after you just bought it and realizing that you have to buy stuff in order to play the game. Like, nothing is better than buying a game for 60, 70 bucks and then realizing the only way you can complete the game is by buying the expansion pack or the season's pass for another 40 or 50 bucks. That makes playing the game so much more rewarding. And honestly, I wish more companies would do it.
Rewarding for the manufacturer or developer?
For everybody involved.
Oh.
Everybody gets a taste of success there.
So it's a little bit different than that. It's not really the ticket system's not really microtransactions. It's a weird way at selling points. It's like when you buy, like Nintendo, if you buy a game from Nintendo, you basically used to have to buy Nintendo points, right? That's the way it worked for the Wii and the Wii U. It's more similar to that. It's unnecessary. They could have just left it as you buy your game packs separately. I don't know why they brought it in, but it's not
their
necessarily
own internal currency, is what you're saying.
It's like
their own Zen currency.
Yeah, like the Wii U points were. So the way it works is, and I'll say this the best because I kept saying it during my stream. I find it funny. Do you remember that episode of The Simpsons where Homer goes to Itchy and Scratchy Land and he's like, "Do you want to buy the Itchy and Scratchy dollars?" And he goes, "Yeah, it's like real money, except it's more fun." Are you serious? You've never seen that?
No, I've seen it. I was just messing with you.
So, anyways, then when you get in there, the first thing you do are like, "Oh, Indiana Jones, I want to buy that." You can't use your tickets. You got to pay real cash for Indiana Jones. So it's just like that. And Itchy and Scratchy money's not taken here. So, it is what it is. It's not necessarily microtransactions. It's just a very complicated and maybe unnecessary way to sell the games that are already in there.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have the entire Zen library on Steam and on Switch and on my Xbox. You know what I mean? Like, I've paid for all these games like 2 or 3 times over, right? So a lot of us don't want to buy the games for maybe a 4th time, or maybe it might be your 2nd time, right?
You're clearly not a real gamer.
So a lot of people are going to have issues with that. But the good news is those other platforms aren't going anywhere. You'll still be able to enjoy those games. I think what I'm going to do, Mike, and this is kind of where this whole thing is coming full circle, is like if a game is on like if a new game comes out and it's like on, I don't care if it's on both platforms. Let's just say it's on FX moving forward. I'll probably just pick it up on FX, right? But still, like all these reboots of games, like I'm not going to buy Attack from Mars again. You know what I mean? But like Pinball Noir, the Mummy game, the Mandalorian, like I'll probably just pick those up. I'm not going to rebuy the whole library. You know what I mean? Like I've done that way too many times. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no one's forcing you to rebuy anything. So
yeah, but we're consumers and we have a right to voice our opinion about it. Goofy Foot's here, $2. Here's my microtransaction, Super Dudes. Thanks so much for the microtransaction. We greatly appreciate it.
So the other thing I do want to mention is the Pinball Pass. So the way the Pinball Pass works is instead of buying any tickets, you can just buy Pinball Pass. And the way that works is it's like ArcadeNet. So basically, if you buy Pinball Pass, you basically get to play the games that they provide, like all the games they're saying right now, with exceptions, basically as soon as they come out. So you can play, I think it's most of the Zen Basically, anything that's available as a ticket right now is going to be included with Pinball Pass. So instead of buying it once, you just pay a monthly recurring fee. But the benefit is that when a new game comes out, you're supposed to get it. But I question that because right off the bat, Indiana Jones isn't included with Pinball Pass. So, you've also got that option too. It's a like Arcade Net, like Game Pass. You can pay that and play FX that way as well if you don't want to buy the games again.
All right, just taking a look at a lot of the comments in the chat. Some people are for it, some people are against it, and that's totally fine. That's what it's all about. That's why we all get together on a Friday night and talk about this stuff.
You know what they should do? So you're talking about microtransactions, but what they should do is they should make you buy whatever, use your currency, cash, to buy tickets. Okay? You following, Mike?
Yep.
Then you take those tickets. You buy a table, let's say Indiana Jones. Okay, now you've got an Indiana Jones ticket or table that you own, and you bought it with tickets that you bought with money. Then they should make you buy more balls because by default you only get one ball. So if you want 3 balls, they should make you spend more money to get a couple extra balls. I think that would be fun. And if you gutter the ball, it automatically drains all your tickets.
So I love everybody, but let's say what no one's going to say here. They had a hard hill to climb anyways, because the expectation was everybody's already bought these pinball tables through FX or FX2. So most people wanted them to get a free conversion to FX. They didn't do that. So automatically you're going to get a percentage of the fan base that are going to be unhappy with you. So they had that going against them. The new ticket system, Pinball Pass, probably isn't helping with those same people's opinions.
There you go. There you go. So
I haven't seen it, and I have no idea what you're talking. I still don't. You've talked for like 10 minutes, and I still don't know what this thing means. So I'm probably not going to buy any of these tables.
Have you not been following the news? There's a new Pinball FX. They've moved. It's
I
Pinball
know.
FX.
I understand FX. I don't understand the ticket system. I have no idea what that means.
Oh, don't worry. I'll have a 15-part seminar on how to purchase tickets.
Goofy Foot gave us a $5 super chat. Oh, nothing better than having to pay a giant cover charge and then still have to shove ones down the G string. Okay, there you go.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Cool Toy is going to have a new show called Pinball FX Academy. He'll explain all of it for you, Detroit Love. Don't worry.
And free runs.
There you go. All right, so let's move off that here. Make sure you guys check out some of the videos on YouTube as well as on the interwebs about the new Pinball FX, and come back and let me know what you think in the comments after the video's over. But something even more interesting, in my opinion, is the fact that E3 has now been canceled, and not just canceled in person, like, hey, we're worried about COVID or something. They've also canceled it virtually. Like, it is done. It is dead. It is gone. Is this the end of E3 as we know it? Like, is it over? What do you, Restalgia, what do you think about this, man?
Well, I don't know if it's over forever, but I think this is going to be like a major shift in how this event is going to be handled. The reality of the situation is Nintendo does their own thing anyways. Sony's doing their own thing. Microsoft is going to do their own thing. Everybody could do their own thing. Now, all you literally have to do is create your presentation, push it up onto your YouTube channel, and you call that marketing for these types of things. So E3 is, I've always wanted to go to E3, but I really don't think it's worth the investment on the customer's behalf. I don't think they're going to get wider reach by going to E3 to present than they would if they just posted directly to their own platform. That's my 2 cents. I also think that E3 needs to have more microtransactions.
Oh, come on, man.
The unfortunate thing from this is, while what Restalgia is saying is true for Nintendo, for Microsoft, for PlayStation, because those are the big boys that bring the audience to the amphitheater, there are companies, much like Arcade1Up in the past, and even AtGames, iArcade, that benefit from attaching themselves to the fanfare and the speculation that comes with being around those companies. So while E3 closing won't impact some of those companies, it does hurt the marketability of the other companies that we're here to talk about today, just because they don't have the same mainstream appeal that Nintendo and all of them have. This was an opportunity for them to attach to that and really try to get some of that recognition.
Yeah. Now the Summer Game Fest, that's the IGN one. That's still going to be happening, right?
I'm not sure. I haven't really been following it. Summer Game Fest, I thought was tied to
Summer of Gaming. I forget what they call it. Summer of Gaming or whatever. The IGN Fest. That's probably still going to be happening.
But that was all like online, right? They didn't have like an actual.
Yeah. So a little shocking. So you guys are thinking it's not coming back. Is that what I'm hearing from everybody?
I don't think it's going away 100%, but I don't think it's coming back in person.
So just digital, if it ever does come back.
Well, I wonder if they did come back in person, what the turnout would be. Like they skipped this year altogether. They're just not operating. And then let's say they come back in 2023. Is there going to be people who are driven to go there? Sure. But like what percentage of your original base from 5 years ago is still coming through? Like, I don't know if it's hosting a convention like that is pretty expensive. So unless they're making money, they're not doing it.
Yeah. With my job, we traditionally have at least 2 traveling events that we go to, and we hadn't had one since the COVID came. And we've had some that said we're just doing virtual. Some actually came back and done live shows this year, but the attendance is still down. So I think everyone that's doing these traveling events it's just up in the air. You have to invest ahead of time to hold these venues for these things, which is very expensive, like Restalgia was saying. And with no guarantee that people are going to show whether it's virtual or not. So it's a very difficult thing for anyone having conventions at this point in time until until it changes. But it's a lot of money you have to fork up ahead of time for these venues to hold those spots for you.
I hear you. So hopefully
there's a lot of people saying that they're revamping it for 2023, but that's a really vague statement. What does that mean? Does that mean ditch in person, everything's digital? There's a lot of people talking about, who knows, maybe they do like a VR concept where you can connect in with a VR system and it's almost like you're there, but you're not. Maybe it's something to do with that. Like, who knows? I just don't think it's going to be the same as it's been. I think something drastic is going to change.
I hope that it still exists, because growing up, E3 was a pretty exciting time for me as a video game fan. I remember when G4 TV was still a thing, not a YouTube channel, but a TV channel. And, being excited to get home every day to get caught up on what happened at E3 that day, all the newest announcements, get to see Morgan Webb and Olivia Munn. It's good times.
Who's that?
What?
Yeah, who's that?
Morgan Webb and Olivia Munn. They used to be on the G4 shows. Olivia Munn was on Attack of the Show, and Morgan Webb was on this is a show with Adam Sessler, X-Play.
I have no idea what you're saying, Mike.
Okay. Anyways, yeah. So I do hope that it still happens, because that historic part of me. But I also understand that E3 stands for Electronics Entertainment Expo, and outside of the major companies, what's left? If Nintendo's not going to be there, Sony's not going to be there, Xbox is not going to be there, what's the draw to get people to come?
That makes sense, Mike. You got to have those big anchors that get people in the door, right? So
yeah, I don't think the Intellivision and Miko is going to bring anybody through the doors.
Yeah, right. You gotta have all that, and keep in mind, like, Restalgia's always trolling us during the show, which can be funny and stressful at the same time.
I'm trying to be nice to Restalgia from now on.
If you guys just included more microtransactions in our show, I wouldn't have to troll you.
All right, so we got to talk about Arcade1Up, and we also got to talk about iArcade. iArcade, I think, had a pretty positive day. Arcade1Up, kind of a mixed bag. So for those of you who have your Arcade1Up's next to you. Let's kind of see what's up with Arcade1Up. So a couple weeks ago, Arcade1Up released a firmware update for the Big Blue machine. Well, if you fire up your Big Blue machines today, another firmware update just pushed through today. I went ahead and I did the update myself, and happy to report that it did fix the issue where the Capcom sports games weren't launching. The games are crashing, so they did get that firmware pushed out and fixed. So that's good to see. We greatly appreciate that. Now, I haven't been able to test all the games or all that kinds of stuff. All I did was turn it on, did the update, went to Capcom Sports, saw that it launched, said woohoo, and then I turned the machine off because we had to get ready for the show. So look forward to playing maybe that cabinet a little bit tonight. Hopefully nothing else wonky happened to it, but that's the good news. And the bad news, though, is there's a firmware update out there for the Golden Tee now, which pretty much is rendering people's trackball useless, unfortunately. And this is terrible because a lot of people are just receiving their cabinets. They're just building them. And when they turn on their machines, it's going to push that update. Excuse me, guys. And then they're going to download that update. And then their machine's not going to work, the trackball and stuff. And then they're going to think their machine's broken. They're going to either open a ticket and flood Arcade1Up with tickets, or they're going to want to return the machine, etc. This is not a good time to have a firmware update disable the machine. So my recommendation to you guys is if you turn on your Golden Tee 3D cabinets, if you see an update, maybe skip the update until you hear there's an all clear, like everything's good. But that is just not good, man. That's just not good.
Yeah, it's a bit of a problem with the Golden Tee XL cab because some people before the update are already having problems with their trackball. There's an inconsistency issue with a lot of people's trackballs where they're having problems really making the shots take off. They have to kind of press it a little slight. So I was going to do a video. I didn't do it, called Arcade1Up Golden Tee XL Big Cabinet, Big Problems. I don't know why I didn't do it. That's an awesome name for a video. But, you know, it's
always Tuesday.
There's always Tuesday. But there's just this shit with the screen and now the stuff with the trackball that people were already having an issue with. And now this firmware update, it just sucks. It sucks for early adopters. We're not getting the cabinet till April 30th here in Canada, so hopefully everything's worked out by then.
Yeah, and this is the third update for Big Blue, right? Is that right, PDubs?
I'm sorry, I was catching up on the chat, Carl. Go ahead.
This is the third update for Big Blue, correct?
For Big Blue, yes.
Right.
It's now update number 3.
Yeah, so that's promising that they're not giving up on and saying, hey, you're stuck with whatever update you got. So that's promising that they probably expect another update for the Golden Tee that hopefully resolves that issue.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: it's a temporary problem. That's the great thing about Wi-Fi connected cabs. They can always send out another firmware update and fix it, or break it, like what happened with the Big Blue, because the first Big Blue update screwed up the music. Second Big Blue update fixed the music, but then messed up Capcom Sports Club. And the third update we got last night fixed Capcom Sports Club. So,
yeah, but I don't know if anyone's actually done like a deep dive testing everything to make sure that nothing else got broken along the way. Sling Spade says he opened a ticket with Arcade1Up and complained about the Golden Tee. That is exactly what you should be doing. Is definitely opening tickets, saying, "Hey, I downloaded your firmware. My trackball is useless." If they get those tickets, plus, you know what? Post it on their Twitter, post it on their Instagram, post it on their Facebook. That kind of stuff will make things happen, right? Like they got to get this thing fixed within a week or so. Like they got to. I can just imagine how many people are going to build their Golden Tee cabinets this weekend. You know what I mean? Especially people who don't follow like our little fan community forums all the time, right? The cabinet probably showed up and like for instance, me, I've been so busy with work and family. My Golden Tee cabinet showed up 2 days ago, but I haven't even built it yet. I'm going to build it. My plan was to build it this weekend because I've been so busy. Got time on the weekend. Hundreds of people are going to build their cabinets this weekend, turn them on, and they're going to download that firmware, and they're going to be pissed. You know what I'm saying? they need to whatever they're doing, drop whatever celebrity endorsement they're working on, and this should be the #1 focus on their company right now. They should be fixing this Arcade1Up cabinet. Hobby Hands, $5. Here's a thought: do more testing before release. I know. I'm thinking outside the box. Restalgia, your microphone is muted, I think.
That is a rookie. That is a rookie comment. What you should be doing is developing firmware. Don't test it. Go straight to the consumer. That's the way that it should go.
Keep in mind, Restalgia did work for AtGames for the last 2 years.
That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. That's the way to go. Don't test it. Just ship it.
Oh man. And you know what stinks? So Tim right here, he's got the comment, because luckily my buddy Vern got his cabinet. I was able to do a review and we did all those videos together about his cabinet. Everything about this cabinet is nearly perfect, except the monitor, right? And can you imagine if they had a monitor that had the same kind of, I don't know, brightness levels and everything like the 17-inch BOE monitors? People would be saying this might be one of the best Arcade1Up cabinets ever done. But that monitor is such a key important piece. The only reason why I'm not super upset about it is because Golden Tee is a game that you play, one person plays at a time. You know what I mean? So for a lot of us, as much as you say, the only person playing this is you in your house. You know what I mean? And if you're the only dude standing in front of it, and when you stand in front of it, it doesn't look washed out, you're cool with it, right? But if they use this same monitor in, the Killer Instinct cabinet coming out, in the NBA Jam coming out, where you actually are required to have people standing next to you, oh man, I'm not even going to buy those cabinets if that's the case. Go ahead, buddy.
So I'm guessing that the user that's probably going to buy the most of these isn't necessarily the Arcade1Up hardcore fans, but this is, like I've said a million times, I think this is really marketed at home bars and people with like rumpus rooms and shit like that want that experience they had of, going out to the pool halls and the bars in the mid-90s and playing Golden Tee there, mid-90s, early 2000s. And the thing about that is nobody at these places are going to be playing the machine by themselves. There's going to be buddies looking over their shoulder, everybody playing like multiplayer games. And that's where this is really going to be impacted, because someone looks over the shoulder and they're like, what the F is going on here? Because the screen is wacky. Right?
No, I agree. I agree with you, Mike. I agree with you there that this is supposed to be kind of like a party cabinet, right?
Yeah.
But then again, a lot of us who buy these, be honest, guys, how often do you have people over playing your arcades? There's a lot of party arcades, party style games that Arcade1Up has released. How often do you have someone over playing Buck Hunter with you? Tell me that. Or is it 9 out of 10 times you play by yourself? You know what I mean?
I don't have Buck Hunter.
I know, but I'm asking the viewers. You know what I mean?
I assume everything you say is to me directly, and nobody else is here.
Oh, Mike, I love you so much.
Yeah,
the good thing about the Golden Tee screen issue is that typically you're drinking beer, and your vision is going to be blurred anyway. So.
That's so true, Carl. That's so true. You're a little inebriated, right?
Yeah, it's like, John, get on, it's your turn. So they're not even on the side. They're trying to do some other mess if they're even there, like PDubs said.
I do want to mention something I saw on the Arcade1Up global fan page. Someone actually took their cabinet and brought it forward so the screen was more straight up at a 90-degree angle instead of tilted. And he said that actually improved the washout. The washout,
what?
like do you remember when you bought like a cheap monitor and when you laid it down, you get heavier washout on an angle? But if you have it bar straight and you're in front of it, you can see it perfectly. He mentioned that he actually lifted his cabinet up and put it almost straight. And he said that fixed the washout from side to side. So that's something you could try if you wanted to test it out. I don't have the cabinet, so I can't. But, you know.
I mean, it makes sense because if you think about what the issues they're saying is fine from this way and it's fine from that way. Because if it was a tilted screen, you would be looking at that angle. So it's good from the top and that side, and that's why the other side is bad, because you would either be looking from the bottom of the screen if it was horizontal. So it's really two good views on that screen.
Yeah.
I have to find that post. I didn't see that, Mike. I didn't see that. I would love to see that post. Maybe if you find the picture for us. That would be awesome. We could kind of
All right, I'm going to take a deep dive.
Oh, wait. You know what's funny? Is we've been complaining forever for Arcade1Up to give us a better slant on these screens. And they're like, okay, we'll slant the monitor, but you're not going to be able to see the game as good. Oh, man. And David
testing.
Now, David put this, David put a comment in, I kind of lost it here. He goes, it would have been a 10 out of 10, but the monitor killed it. That's how I would agree with David. This cabinet is so good. The leaderboards, the user interface, the games included, the design of the cabinet, the look of the cabinet. The only major opportunity, the marquee looks great. The sound is awesome. Like, this would have been almost like, hey guys, they finally got one 100% right. And then this monitor issue happens. And then right after the monitor issue, they push out a firmware update that disables the machine.
There's at least one other issue with it, though.
You know, what's that?
So it's got the monitor problem, which for this game, less of an issue than for some of the other games that it could be used for. But they really need to include microtransactions on these arcade machines.
Man, oh man, oh man.
Oh, you're killing me, Restalgia. You're killing me.
I do this for the love, PDubs.
Yeah. All right. While we're waiting for Michael to pull that up here, is there anything else going on in the world of Arcade1Up, or is it just these firmware updates and latest releases? I can't remember if there was any other Arcade1Up news this week. I don't think there was.
There was a little bit, but you rectified it for me. So a couple people, like one of our good friends, Scott Gray, actually wrote me on Twitter and said that a bunch of Golden Tee Legacy cabinets were coming in. And I said, isn't the XL cabinet just a Legacy cabinet? And he said, no, they're identified differently in the shipping manifest. One says Legacy cabinet, and the other one says riserless arcade. So is there a second Golden Tee coming, or is this just more XL cabinets listed differently?
I don't think so. I think Arcade1Up needs to figure out what the heck this Golden Tee cabinet is and have all their retailers update their listings, as well as update the listing on their actual Arcade1Up website. Because on the user interface, when you turn on the cabinet, on the top right corner of the user interface, it literally says this is a Golden Tee Legacy cabinet, right? Like, to me, Mike, this is just an oversized Legacy cabinet.
Maybe,
so all this new stuff coming in the ports, guys. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's like another. Oh, we now have another Golden Tee cabinet coming.
Maybe it's the other SKU or whatever it is that he was looking at is DLC for the XL.
Guys, I can't find the post now. I can't.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Well, don't worry about it. Tim says the couchcades are available for order now. Mike, you did a live stream about couchcades.
Well, it wasn't a live stream. It was a video live stream laziness.
So the Arcade1Up couchcades were. I will say this though. I like what Arcade1Up is doing, where they're like, hey guys, we have the Golden Tee. They made the announcement and then it was available for order like right away. This couchcade thing, same thing. Hey guys, we now have a couchcade and you can buy it today. You know what I mean? Like, I actually like what Arcade1Up is doing, because I'm tired of this. Hey guys, we got something coming 9 months down the road, pre-order today, right? Like, I'm tired of that. Then we have to wait and moan and complain about it for 9 months, right? I actually like what they're doing now with this stuff. With hey guys, it's here. You want to buy it? Let me know, viewers. Is that the kind of service you want? That's what I want. Carl, what about you, man? Are you okay waiting 9 months for stuff?
No, I mean, there's no reason to announce it earlier than it's available. You know, I mean, they control that, so why even do that? Make the things available, announce them when they're available. That makes the best sense.
Yes. And check this thing out. So I will say one thing about this, and Mike, I think I said it when I was in the live chat of your show talking about this. I'm digging the handle. I'm loving the handle on this thing. Look at the handle, Carl. Is that a Detroit Love handle? Did they take your design?
Well, I took their plastic from their other box and made my handle, so it's all Arcade1Up's handles. So it's got a handle and it's portable where it has a battery. Yeah. I don't like the fact that it's not a rechargeable battery, but it's good that they make it portable and has its own power source. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Anytime you have something portable, it doesn't make sense to be hooking up a wire to it. And the AtGames is that way, right? It's rechargeable. You hook it up just to charge it, and then it's
Yep.
available.
And then you could use it wirelessly, like you're talking about like the Legends Gamer Mini and stuff.
Right, and the Gamer Pro, correct.
Yeah, this product's not for me. Look at that. That actually looks kind of comfy though. This product's not for me. I think there's better options out there, but hey, at least they got to pay the bills, man. So they got to put out more stuff to pay the bills.
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem. They've been selling these couch things you hook up HDMI's to your TV for years, all different variants. I must say, of the ones that have been available, I don't know if you guys remember, shaped like a joystick, and you get to play Miss Pac-Man, those kind of things. We've all seen
Pac-Man joystick.
Right. Those things were way too small to really actually play and utilize the joystick correctly. So at least this gives you a platform. It has a little cushion on the bottom. I think that's a good thing to have, as long as it's not going to overheat. It's not for me, but there's an audience for it, which has been proven for years. So we'll see how it goes. I think it's a little overpriced because those other things you get for like $20 or so, so they're competing against those products. It's not something that you're going to see next to the candy bars at the grocery store.
So I'll bring up the question. AtGames put their through GameStop put their Legends Gamer Pro and Legends Gamer Mini on sale for $99 and then $49, and everybody was saying, are they clearancing out stock? Could this be some competitive advantage where AtGames is like, oh, introducing a new product, huh? It's going to be a hard time selling them compared to this.
Yeah, clearly that's the same market that they're going after.
What's the regular price on them?
On what? The Legends Gamer Pro? Gamer Mini, I think, was I don't know the US price, $129, and then the Gamer Pro is like $199 to $249, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You wash the stains on the couchcade. What are you doing to your couchcade? This product's not for me. I'm not going to make any content about this product. All I'm going to say is it has a nice handle. So if you're looking for me to say something super nice about this product, that's all I got to say about this.
Yeah, and really, the while the two products are similar in nature, it really comes down to the games that people want to play. The AtGames products, their game lists aren't the Pac-Mans and aren't those things. So they're not really competing per se against each other because the games are so totally different.
AtGames is actually releasing their own couchcade. It's going to be the Sly Spy couchcade. And then
how'd you find out about that?
Sly Spy. I did find out that these are not going to be available at retail here in Canada. So for Canadian consumers that do in fact want a couchcade, you are going to have to order directly from Arcade1Up. Wayfair may have them at some point, but no retailer is going to get them.
Yeah,
these things are just so jacked up in their pricing.
Yeah,
this
endless. Go ahead.
They're going to do some massive sale on these things. They have to. I struggle to see why or where the value is for somebody to spend $180 on this specific SKU. I think you're better off, if you want these same products, you're better off to get the countercade or the partycade or something like that instead of this couchcade at this price. I know that some are more expensive, but this is just like a weird thing to buy at this price point. When I think of somebody wanting to play Pac-Man, I don't think somebody wants to plug it in on their 40 or their 50-inch TV, sit on the couch and play Pac-Man. It just feels weird. I don't know. I think a Golden Tee would be really good for this. I think I don't know if they did a two-player, not like a long one, but two separate game pads for Street Fighter. So you could sit beside somebody at a different spot on the couch and then do something like that. Maybe that makes sense. But Pac-Man, I struggle with that title for this application.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, they have that Pac-Man giant joystick, which is
Pac-Man's recognizable.
Yeah, it's $150. And when you compare, if I was going to pay $100-something for it. That this couchcade is a much better product than that crazy looking giant joystick. Now I think the Atari giant joystick is, I think that'll have more appeal. It doesn't look that bad, but the Pac-Man one is ridiculous. So in my opinion, this is just replacing that stupid joystick with something that's more appealing to.
See, I think it's different because it almost feels like they're two different products in the sense of like the big giant joysticks. I feel like those are like display. I don't think anyone's actually buying those things intentionally to like have their friends over and play Pac-Man or play whatever games on the Atari stick. But I feel like the couchcade is designed for like, hey, I'm going to have some friends over, so come sit down and we'll pass this thing around the couch and everyone can take turns. So I feel like they're two different things. One's more of like a showpiece and the other thing's like actually functional.
Yeah,
but
and again, I'm saying from the price standpoint,
right,
this is a much, even though it's a little higher, it's a much better product if someone actually wants to play Pac-Man.
100%. Go ahead, Mike. Mr. Arcade1Up Illuminati.
Arcade1Up Illuminati. So anyways, I think a lot of people are missing the point on this. Like, this is not for us. Arcade1Up knows that not everybody's going to buy a $600 arcade cabinet. So they're throwing as much shit at the wall as humanly possible to find different products at different price points to try to bring people on board to their brand to expand the user base. That's the concept here. Whether this is a good idea or not, I have no idea. I think that this is going to be a product that's really thrusted toward QVC, HSN, the shopping channel, people that aren't traditional gamers. Like somebody's grandma is going to say this and say, "Oh, that would be perfect for Timmy," and then end up paying way too much for it and give it to Timmy for Christmas. He's going to say, "This is whack, Grandma." So,
this is whack, Grandma. Oh, man. So check it out, guys. They're not offering free shipping on this product. I just added it to the cart, and they want to charge $18 FedEx shipping on this. I thought Arcade1Up was doing free shipping, man. So
but $18 is not bad, though.
All right. Should we buy one? It's $197. Should we buy one?
You should definitely buy one, 100%.
Buy a better game. Wait for something better to come out.
Or should we do like a gamer challenge? Like whoever has the lowest high score on a game has to buy this product.
What does that mean? Has the lowest high score? What does that mean?
Whoever scores the lowest. We'll all play a game. Top 3 high scores are safe. Whoever's lowest, they have to buy this product and review it for everybody live on the Super GameRoom Dudes.
I get a pass because I beat you in that Street Fighter challenge, right?
No.
No. I don't want to do this.
Yeah, you do. You know you want to do
I don't.
this.
I can't buy it in Canada. I'll have to pay another $200 shipping and tax and duty to get it here.
Oh, I really hope you lose because that would be epic.
I'm not
doing
doing
it. You guys want to try? Come on, we'll play squash. We'll play Montezuma's Revenge. There you go on the iArcade. There you go. All right, and let's see here. I think that's about it for Arcade1Up, right?
There is one other thing I just want to mention really quickly. There's a big sale going on here in Canada right now at the Brick, and a couple other retailers have jumped on it as well. So I did a video a couple days ago, $200 off The Simpsons, $130 off TMNT, $100 off T2, $100 off Class of 81, Legacy, Capcom, and Midway, $100 off. Some deals on stools. Also $100 off the Pac-Man Party Cave, which is a great deal. $249 for that. So if you're interested, head on over to the Brick, other websites, and get yourself some of these at a little bit of a better price.
And for all the U.S. Viewers, that's like $20 off, just so you know.
There you go. Love all the game recommendations that everyone wants us to play. Oh, by the way, iArcade has got that Bash bowling game where we could all like hop online and play online together. However, once you figure out how to throw the ball, you'll score 300 every time. But I think they just did an update today on that game that I think might fix that, make it like a more challenging. I thought I saw a post. I haven't updated the game yet myself, so I want to check that out.
So what they clone Simpsons Bowling?
I don't know. Like it wasn't the world's greatest bowling game. Yeah, new physics and stuff. So hopefully it'll be a better experience. I'll have to put that on my list of stuff I need to test out this weekend. We'll get that done. But that would be kind of cool, right? Like if we all bowled together, like we could live stream that and have people join us. I think you could get up to 8 people playing at once. That's pretty fun.
See if you can get a couple codes from Bash.
It's like a $4 game. You can't spend $4 on a game, Mike. They got to give it to you for free.
And that's like $3 more than Wet Girls, just so you know.
This Wet Girls obsession. Mike, do you still have that picture that you showed everyone?
Oh yeah, I do.
Okay, you guys have got to see this picture. We're going to start talking about iArcade while we wait for Mike to pull that up. iArcade, in my opinion, had a pretty decent day because they gave the community some much-needed updates on their online gaming. So let's find out what's up with iArcade. All right, so on the iArcade Game Days stream today, they did give out some specifics regarding the online gaming. It will be launching. I had to write a lot of this down. I'll probably make a solo video for this later.
Well, while you're getting your thoughts together there real quick, is iArcade trying to take over AtGames?
How so?
Because every time I turn it on now, it keeps asking me for my password.
I'm in the same position. I put in. I get prompted every single time I turn to my iArcade.
Yeah, what's going on? They trying to take. That's AtGames shit right there. Okay, you back up off, John. You know, we're family, man. Don't do that to family.
Yeah, we don't want to log in, right? We don't want to sign in. We want it to auto log in, right?
Why is it doing that? Anybody know? Can you make a video about that and I'll watch it, Michael?
I don't know. Open a ticket.
Is that happening in Canada as well?
It's not my job to make videos about all that stuff.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So the online gaming is going to go live on April 15th. So just 2 weeks from now, it'll be free at launch. And it's important that they use these kind of words during their presentation today. It'll be free at launch while it's in alpha testing phase. But they did not confirm or deny if it will be forever free or something you'll have to pay for in the future. I have a feeling there might be, and this is just my opinion. Don't go running around saying I said this. My opinion, my speculation is they're going to eventually be charging for this service. But it's going to be free for probably a good long time, kind of like how ArcadeNet was free for 2 years. You guys remember that? So, by the way, guys, if you want to see this, Mike, you might have to zoom in.
Oh, don't worry. You start here.
So we were all hanging out, or not me. Well, these guys were hanging out after last week's show. And what does it... MichaelB saw this pop up on his screen. If you guys can't read that, it says Detroit Love is now playing Wet Girls. Oh my goodness. You got the little the Steam.
It says Wet Girl, it's not plural.
You got the Steam notification. But here's what I like about this is when it comes to how their games are going to play, some of the games will be run online co-op play via their servers. So stuff goes up to the servers and then down to both players. But then also there's going to be, you get the option to do peer-to-peer as well, which is really cool. Like Arcade1Up does peer-to-peer, AtGames does servers, iArcade is doing both. You know what I mean? You kind of get to choose is what I was taking from Michael's presentation. Sounds like when this goes live in 2 weeks, it'll have 3 to 5 games ready to play. And every week they'll add 3 to 5 more. And obviously also add new features and tweak things as we go. It sounds like at launch, you'll be able to, you click on a game, you'll see the lobbies for that game where you could join somebody else, is what they said. No voice chat, though. So no voice chat. They're going to have servers in the United States, servers in Canada, servers in Korea. So that's nice to hear. Servers all across the world. The only game they revealed so far that'll be as part of that day one alpha launch out of the 3 to 5 games that'll be live on day one is Windjammers. I did ask them during their stream. You might as well just tell us what the other 3 to 5 games are. And they didn't say. But we'll be able to play Windjammers online with each other. And the online leaderboards will be compatible, etc. No spectating mode, though. Whew, that was a mouthful. But that was pretty much the gist of their announcements about online play. So, Mike, how are you feeling about this? And guys, let me know in the live chat. I'm sure most of you watched their stream today, plus this information. What are you guys thinking? Are you excited about it? Are you not excited about it? Are you looking forward to playing online? Go ahead.
I will say no spectator mode is a disappointment. I'm not the kind of person to yell at the clouds about spectator mode, Killer Instinct, and all that stuff, but there is definitely a market and an interest in going in and watching other people play online. Like, I think that hopefully that's something they can do in the future. I don't know how expensive it is to do, or what the holdback from doing it is, but I mean, if they get really competitive, like say for example, Dubs, me and you are the Windjammer World Champions, and we want to watch other people want to watch us to learn some tips or see two of us play off. It would be really beneficial to have it. So I hope there's something they can do in the future.
Yeah. Mike, the idea of playing Windjammers was much more exciting 45 months ago before Windjammers 2 launched. Well, Windjammers 2 literally just came out. RetroArch has spectator mode. Michael Light, you got it. How often are you spectating on your machines right now? That's Michael from iArcade.
No, that's a fair comment, because what can happen is I can HDMI out to my TV and I can stream it, but that's spectating mode is not that. It's other people being able, like say for example, I'm on my iArcade, I'll get a notification PDubs is playing Restalgia. I can just go watch their game from my iArcade.
Yep.
Or PDubs could stream it, and then you could watch it from YouTube.
Not everybody has a YouTube channel. Not everybody streams.
Not everybody has a capture card. Not everybody knows how to set that kind of stuff up. You know what I mean? When it comes to, let's just say tournament play, without that mode, it makes it a little more difficult to host and create tournaments, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to like solo, like if someone wants to live stream themselves playing their machine with a friend, they could easily do that, right? But
and Restalgia, you missed an opportunity there. That was a perfect time to chime in and say that's a good time for them to add some DLC or microtransactions.
Listen, I beat that horse dead way too many times in this show. I'm going to start making people upset.
Well,
there's been a few times
I have a question about this live spectator mode. Now, my wife and daughters, while they don't come down here and play these video games, they'll sit and watch YouTube for hours and hours and watch Belize and whatever the other guy's name is playing games. But that's on the comfort of their couch, their bed. How long will somebody stand at a cabinet and watch somebody else play? I mean, that's I would think that time frame would be much shorter than someone comfortably.
Yeah, Mike,
watching on
answer
YouTube.
that one.
I don't have the answer for that. Like, I'm not huge in the online gaming community, so you would have to ask people that actively participate, because it is a big deal for them.
Well, the good news is it'll be free at launch, at least at launch. And then what'll be really nice is all of us will get to tinker with it, provide feedback, say, hey, this works good, this works bad, this is what we like, this is what we don't. It sounds to me like Jong and Michael are going to be very receptive about our feedback, which I really like hearing that, whereas other companies are like, you get what you get, and that's it. So I'm pretty excited about that. Now,
I did want to make one more comment. Yeah, they're all entitled. So anyways, one thing I did want to say, iArcade have done such a good job of grooming their fan base to expect weekly releases. What I like about this I'm so sorry, guys. What I like about this weekly release point for the online games is because the fan base has been groomed for a weekly update. Now the update becomes what games are now going to be online. So it's something that's more newsworthy for the fan base that keeps wanting updates. They've created their own updates to provide. So that's a good job on their part.
Yeah. Restalgia, any thoughts about their online?
I don't know.
What do you think about them doing both? Some games will be hosted via their servers and some games will be peer-to-peer. I guess it's going to depend on the game. What do you think about that? It sounds like they're trying to cover all the bases for everybody, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Hopefully it works
that makes
out.
sense. It makes sense. There's certain games you want to play peer-to-peer. Most fighting games are an example of that. You don't really want that coming down from a server down to two locations. You want to play peer-to-peer. You get the best experience that way. So I do like they're kind of covering their bases. As long as they know which games to push up to a server versus which games should be peer-to-peer, then it sounds like it's. And I imagine that they do. I don't think that that's something that is going to be a detail that they miss out on, especially since they're already going that route. But no, I think it'll be good. I'm curious to see how it's going to function, the quality of the servers. Is it going to impact gameplay? We all know with ArcadeNet, there are certainly situations or locations in which you can live where it's almost unplayable. I never really have an issue because I'm pretty close to a server, but I'm curious to see how that's going to change with the iArcade system.
Yeah. Visel gave us a $5 super chat. Thanks for covering all this stuff. Well, thank you for the donation. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. We're happy to cover this stuff for everybody. Bill's Retro Gaming Show. Guys, make sure you check out Bill's Retro Gaming Show on YouTube. He actually put out a really good video. What was it, yesterday? About some like if you guys are Arcade1Up fans, like the kind of Konami games he would like on a Konami cabinet. It was actually a really well done video. Really enjoyed it. Make sure you guys check out Bill. Michael Light here from iArcade says you can choose yourself for all games if you want server or peer-to-peer when you create the room. I must have missed that.
I didn't know that.
See, I thought it was going to be depending on the game, but it sounds like you get to choose. All right, that's cool. I'm digging that.
Well, and the other thing is, this is something I've been chirping towards AtGames this entire time, but if they're going to host games on a server and push them down, they can exceed the physical hardware limitations that are on the machine, and they can actually bring us more advanced games to play through that system. So maybe that's a really good opportunity for them to kind of shift into that position too. Get all of the games up into an online service, access some licenses that we all know that Arcade1Up kind of has a lot of the retro licenses on lock. So maybe they can go after titles that Arcade1Up isn't going to be able to produce on their hardware, things that are 2 generations ahead, and be able to secure licenses and bring that to their platform. I think that would be really smart.
What do you think? Like Mortal Kombat 10, Mortal Kombat 11, something like that?
I think those are pretty big blockbuster titles, but
so,
I mean, you're on the right train.
So what are you thinking? Some junky shit no one's heard of?
No, man. I'm thinking like Cuphead. I'm thinking like, I don't know, Binding of Isaac. That would play really well on an arcade machine. Shovel Knight, games like that would play really well on an arcade machine. I think that's the way to go.
Okay.
That's just my 2 cents.
It would be very nice if on the newer, I mean, it would suck for existing owners, but anyone who buys a new iArcade, like the newer version coming out, if it did have Ethernet, you know what I mean? Because this is all going to be done via Wi-Fi as well, so let's not forget that, guys. So yeah, overall, I mean, we're going to have to wait and see what will the initial games be, and also how does it look? It sounds promising from what they're saying. And hopefully it performs well, right? And it sounds like they did say what I expected them to say. They said, expect there to be bugs, and we want you to tell us about the bugs. You know what I mean? And that's how you do an update like this, right? Instead of like, putting out an update that disables people's machines completely and not even telling them. You know what I mean? Like, transparency is the key to customer happiness.
Yeah, I like this about iArcade. Like, people ask for online games, and they're like, "You want online games? We'll do online games." It's very cool that they're making this happen. They're making it free initially, and I'm excited to try it out. And I'm excited to play shit with you guys and see what works.
Yeah, like games like this one just came out today. This isn't obviously not.
I was going to talk to you about that.
This is honestly not the greatest, oldest retro beat 'em up game of all time, but this and Warrior Blade are super fun side-scrolling beat 'em up games that would be enjoyable on a co-op gaming experience, right, Mike?
Yeah, I actually have that open right here now because I was looking at the video earlier and I was like, how have I never heard of Arabian Magic? This looks right up my alley. So I was going to mention that to you after the stream. Ask if you had ever played it before.
Yeah, I've played Arabian Magic. I always play as Sinbad. You know what I mean? I've played it on like some of my Pi and CoinOps images and stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
this looks fun. I like it.
It's a fun game. I highly recommend you guys pick this one up. It's no final fight, but it'll pass the time. And
I definitely recommend all genies to play this game for sure.
There you go. Guys, do you know about Arabian Magic? Are you going to pick up this game? Let us know. This is some of the this is one of the magic power spells that you could use. Bring up the genie that crushes all the enemies and stuff. Like, this is a fun game. I like this game. And it's a Taito game too. I like Taito games. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about this.
You know what I would love to see with all these companies offering these updates? I would like to be able to go backwards on the update. You know, to get to a menu and say, hey, I want to go to the previous update because this update here has jacked up my machine. Let me go back to the previous update, as opposed just stuck with whatever they give you until the next one comes out.
Okay. Yeah, no, I understand that feedback completely. So I don't think any of the companies well, I mean, AtGames kind of used to when they kind of shared like the prior firmwares, right?
Yeah,
Now
but you had to get a
do-
USB drive and all that. I would like to be able to get it wirelessly, right? Go to a menu. You have these setting options on most of these on iArcade, on these newer Arcade1Up cabinets. Give you an update thing where you can go to the previous version.
I'm
Why
sorry,
not?
Carl. That'll never happen. That'll literally never happen.
Yeah. Why not? Why not Restalgia?
There's a lot of reasons that they do firmware updates, and it's not just game compatibility. A lot of times it's security. They give you an update for a reason, and oftentimes a lot of the stuff that they make changes are kind of like hidden away in terms of like the internal code in like assorted, bug fixes or security improvements or like very vague statements. And generally speaking, you don't. Most companies that offer firmware updates don't provide previous versions because the new update has things that are needed for security moving forward, especially when you're dealing with connected devices and things like that.
So my tiny dumb arcade wrote, iArcade owners are clamoring to play Arabian Magic online. No, iArcade owners are just clamoring to play online, and iArcade has made it very clear that their goal is to have all of their co-op 2-player games that are arcade related to have online play for all of us. Whether or not they're games you like, games you don't like, you'll have the ability to play them online. All the arcade games first, and then of course, if the developers will jump on board of all the modern games that are on this system, then in the future as well, we might have the chance to play Mayhem Brawlers, Retromania Wrestling, Riptide Renegade, a Beach Buggy Racing, all at the same time. You know what I mean? So, there's some good stuff there. The fact that the goal was to talk about a specific genre. Like, I think side-scrolling beat-em-up games are fun games to play with a buddy, Mike, right? You know what I mean? Like
100%. I mean, that adds so much more value when I'm playing any beat-em-up game where someone just pops in, they're like, let's run X-Men together. And I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Like Mike, you and I actually have real-world experience with this. For instance, on that Arcade1Up Big Blue cabinet, they have Knights of the Round. Is that the greatest beat-em-up game of all time? No, it's a fun one. I'll tell you what, my most favorite moment of my Arcade1Up Big Blue cabinet was Mike, you and I, we didn't live stream it. It was just me and you hanging out one night after work. Mike and I played Knights of the Round from start to finish, side by side, co-op play. And we were talking on the phone at the same time, or FaceTime. Yeah. We had FaceTime open, right? And we're playing the game and talking, having a good time, drinking beers, playing this game. That's what it's all about, right? So I don't care if it's, a brand new game or Knights of the Round or Arabian Magic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Restalgia and I wouldn't know anything about that. So, it sounds fun, though.
Yeah, we don't get invited to the after party.
You didn't have your Big Blue, Detroit Love. You just got your Big Blue when this happened. And Restalgia, you don't have a Big Blue yet. Are you going to get one, by the way?
No.
Don't get one. I never turn mine on. Restalgia, you're good.
I'm not.
Are you going to get a Bit Pixel HV?
No.
Why not? It's so cool.
I know everyone likes them. They're just not my thing. Like, it's the same reason I don't have one of the.
Yeah, well, I agree. I agree with you on the Legends Ultimate.
It's just it's too much. You know what I mean?
See what's happening there before? I don't use it for the main reason. I use it as a big DMD.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so cool.
But then you're like, every time you're going up and down, the DMD should be like right above the playfield.
Can you do that? Can you do that motion again?
Yeah. No, wait. I just realized.
Yeah, that's not the
Touche,
right
Mike.
spot for a
Touche.
DMD, that's for sure. Because it already can distract you from.
So
You missed your
it's
ball.
not opportune, but it's a cool way to add a third
Yeah,
screen in
it's
my
better than
opinion.
sticking the
Without it, like especially if I'm not like a modding person. So
Right. Yeah, it's an
yeah.
easy.
And
thing
as
is, it
everybody
just-
saw from my build your own legends competition, I'm
dresser
clearly
cake.
not a modding person.
But does it? It just replicates what's on the DMD that's embedded in the back glass, anyways, right?
For Pinball FX, yes, that's what it does. But like with the what do you call it? Visual pinball, you can just get rid of your DMD altogether and take it completely off.
Yeah.
And then
That's you're talking about connecting it to a PC. I'm talking about on the Legends.
Oh, on the Legends, it doesn't do any of that.
doesn't-
On the
yeah.
Legends, it's just a pin. It's just a pin.
Oh, it doesn't
pinball
even take
topper.
the score or anything?
No.
No. It's just a topper on the Legends.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it's
And-
just not
and
my
now I
it's
think-
not my thing.
Now you guys said something about CoinX. Was that April Fool's joke?
No, they're getting rid of it. CoinOps X is gone. As of the next firmware update, they're removing it.
Yeah, I
And-
did put that as a April Fool's joke on the AtGames fan page today. I created a fake link that takes you to the Rick Astley Rickroll song, Never Gonna Give You Up. And I posted it on the AtGames fan page. But what it looked like to people was it says AtGames is canceling all third-party applications, including CoinOps X. And people, so what's funny is on a lot of these websites where you can create these fake joke links, like they give you the stats, Mike, like over 450 people click that link.
I clicked
Within
it
like-
30 times though.
Within like an hour of me posting it. Like people were like, is this real? You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, they're taking away CoinOps X. You know what I mean? That was pretty funny.
You know what the thing about CoinOps is though? If they decided to pull that out, you couldn't even get around it by not updating your firmware. Because it's all server side, right? So like it's in the App Store to launch it. That's how you launch CoinOps. You go into the App Store X and then you click on the tile and then you launch it. So if they wanted to get rid of it, they just shut it off on the server side and it would no longer populate within the App Store X.
And you can't launch it if you're not logged in as well, right?
So
Well, yeah, but you wouldn't even be able to see it even if
Right.
you were logged in. It wouldn't
Right.
matter. The icon would be gone.
So
You're gonna scare people and start.
Let-
It's
Right.
not
let's-
gonna. That's not what's
let's-
gonna happen. I'm just saying.
Stop.
do a poll. Do a poll. How many people would keep their Legends Ultimate if it didn't have the ability to bring your own game?
All right, guys, put a 1 in the chat if you would keep your Legends Ultimate if CoinOps X went away. Put a 0 if you would sell or mod your cabinet if they took away CoinOps X. And you guys are going to start a ruckus, and I'm not going to be blamed for this at all.
Well, until we had this what's this spy? What was this game we just played?
Sly Spy.
Spy. Until that, I don't recall ever playing one of the built-in games.
Yeah, I would put a Pi or a PC in, like if they got rid of CoinOps X. What I like about CoinOps X is I
Why
don't
would
have to
you-
go get another device and hack.
You wouldn't even have to put a Pi in it. It has the HDMI inputs on the outside.
You know what
Like,
I'm
just
saying.
Plug it in. Then you
that's
could
what
still
I'm
have
saying.
both.
That's what I'm saying. Restalgia. But I wouldn't even want the AtGames UI at that point. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. I see what you're
So-
saying.
A lot of zeros. A lot of zeros.
They're not getting rid of Coin. There's no reason to get rid of it.
No.
It's fully functional. It's being supported by the third-party dev.
You started
This-
this. This is
I'm-
you.
This is you. You brought it on.
Hold on. No. I didn't bring it up. I brought it up in as a talking point to your April Fool's joke. You brought it up, sir. I was just
Yeah.
carrying on the conversation, just like I carry on our show.
Yeah.
Can we get third-party developers to make a better UI? Can we do that?
So, Restalgia, I'll ask a question for you. So, one person said in the chat, and they made a really good comment here, like, well, I would still keep it because, no big deal. If I can't do CoinOps X, I can still plug my PC into it and just play it that way. So, you mentioned earlier with cloud services, AtGames can, in fact, bring more powerful games onto the Legends Ultimate through the cloud, which I think is a really good idea. I think that... I think they should try to punch a little bit higher and bring some stuff in that has some online fighting and different things like that. Not necessarily just some kind of gaming experience on the PC, but to that point where it's hard for them to sell Arcade.net and get stuff in because people are already, bringing stuff in through CoinOps X. With the PC hookup, wouldn't it be the same problem with going and getting some of those titles you mentioned? Because they can already do that if you just hook your PC up to your Legends Ultimate, if they wanted to play that way.
They could, but some of those games aren't online. So, I mean, it depends on what game you're talking about first, right? Like
Shovel Knight.
Shovel Knight, that's not an online. Well, Shovel Knight's only one player anyways, right?
Yeah, well, you brought it up when you mentioned the arcade.
Sure, I was talking. Yeah, that's fine. But like my thought process would be like games that would normally be like 2-player co-op, something more modern that's a 2-player co-op game that you would have to play locally to enjoy traditionally would be a really good game that you could put on these arcade services.
Yeah,
that allows you to play more advanced games that isn't limited by your hardware. And be able to actually play with people, wherever they happen to be on their own machines.
All right, let's get down to brass tacks.
Let's hear it.
Do you have any sway at AtGames still? And can you get them to add Wet Girl to Arcade1Up?
That's actually funny because we were planning on putting Wet Girls on there. However, it started to get some bad press on an episode of Super GameRoom Dudes because Carl decided to play Wet Girls live. Yeah. While they were on a live stream. So there's currently there's too much controversy.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Was the constant updates at AtGames while you were working there because they were trying to keep Carl's gremlins off the Legends Ultimate?
It might have been that, yeah. Every week Carl would hack his machine and put his gremlins on there. And it became a real security problem. So,
and for the record, we were in the after party off the live when I checked it out.
Yeah, there's nothing like being at an after party with a bunch of dudes. You're all like, "Hey man, what's up?" And then you're like, "Nothing, just playing some porn games."
I don't think it's porn unless there's a downloadable function.
No, it's not porn. You're right.
Carl's completed that game 3 times very thoroughly. He knows it is not a porn title, Mike.
All right, we gotta get back on track here, guys, because we have gone pretty far beyond our normal scheduled broadcast time. Real quick, guys, getting back to iArcade. So iArcade did release Arabian Nights. Go check it out on their game store. I recommend it. It's a fun beat 'em up game. They did release Guardian, which I've never played before. I did buy Sky Shark, which is another Toplin vertical shooting game. It's like every week, here comes another shooting game on the iArcade cabinet. And I actually really enjoyed playing it. I got on the leaderboard, and I'm sure I'll get knocked off very soon. Go ahead, Mike.
So could you bring up the last comment from Sween Machine?
Sween Machine. For my Neo Geo fans, Andro Dunos 2 is awesome. I saw that on the PlayStation 5 store.
Yeah, I actually got a code sent to me through Keymailer for Andro Dunos 2, which I'm going to be playing on Switch sometime soon. And I think it's a perfect game to go on iArcade because they already have Andro Dunos. Yeah. Andro Dunos 2 is basically a modern day sequel to it. It's still in the 4x3 screen format too. So there's nothing that iArcade has to do to make it work. And, they can get Nintendo Switch games working on iArcade. Well, this is a perfect game. I reached out to John. He said he'll talk to his developers, but Andro Dunos 2, I'm going to be playing it sometime in the near future. This 100% has to be a game that iArcade picks up.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that on PlayStation 5 when I was playing that the other night. I saw that in their little game store. But I think they wanted it's like $17.
Well, game? I mean, that's the crux of modern development. I mean,
I know, but still, I was like, oh, it's going to be $10. You know what I mean? Like, I was kind of surprised, but either way, I'm thinking about checking it out. So we'll see.
All right, well, guys, we have not gotten to our Toy Shock news, so let's make sure we keep it rolling here because
there's Toy Shock news.
Shouldn't it?
Replicate? No. Yes.
I mean, are we putting Toy Shock over there with Well Played? Did we have no more news anymore? What's going on here?
Oh, you just mean in general. I understand now.
Yeah, we got nothing for Toy Shock right now. So
sadly, no.
But they're an RC and doll company. That is their business. Like
they were going to do those tabletops. Whatever happened to the tabletop?
Oh, they're available. Yeah, they're available in Canada. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Video games, pinball, that's not the main focus of that company's business. You know what I mean? Like it is Arcade1Up, AtGames, iArcade. You know what I mean? That was like a spin-off thing. So, less of a commitment. Now, I think we're out of time to talk about Qbert. We could probably talk about Qbert after more people get their machines. One nice thing is Warren Davis did sign a few of those replicades. So if you're getting your Warren Davis edition of the Qbert replicade from New Wave Toys, make sure you give it a good look over. You might get the autographed copy. It's kind of like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory golden ticket. Some of you out there are going to get an autographed copy, and if you do, let me know. I will buy it from you. Name your price. Oh, man. Yeah, also for Qbert, just check out the stream I did with B-Kong yesterday on Kongs R Us channel where we went over that cabinet in detail, so that was pretty cool. But minus that, guys, we got to put a pin in it. I got to go spend some time with the wife. We always appreciate you guys coming in, hanging out with us every Friday night. Hopefully we gave you news, entertainment, and information. Give us a thumbs up on the way out. Subscribe to the channel. And Carl,
until next time, we'll see you on the web.
On the web. What is Wet Girl? Like, seriously, what is it? I have no idea what it is.
It's a game where girls dance and you squirt them with a water gun that is supposed to emulate a pee-pee.
What? No.
I think that's
what? Is that your interpretation of the game, Mike?
Sign me up.